Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of the AI Advantage Show. We're your hosts, Colin Episcopo and Kim Reynolds, and we're excited today to talk about some latest AI trends, of course, and how you can
AI
scale
and
your
customer service.
customer service, and how you can scale your customer service support with AI chatbots, and I think get a 400% increase in revenue. I know everybody would love that. So, Kim, who do we have today?
Okay, well, our guest today is is Tage Hansen, and he's the CEO of AINIRO. I pronounce this wrong every time, but it's AINIRO, and they are an AI chatbot startup. But it's an amazing system that they have, and we've actually used it on our site. I don't know if you know that, Colin, but it is. In fact, it's so amazing. They're going to give you a live demonstration today, so that's pretty exciting. But Tanya, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish your introduction, and Arias too, because I think you'll be better at it than me today. Excuse me.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Colin, and also thank you for having the both of us. Yes, you already briefly introduced me. My name is Tage. I'm the CEO of AINIRO, and I'm from Norway. My background is from sales and marketing, while I have my technical right hand, Aria, with me on the show today.
Awesome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So just tell us a little bit more about your company and kind of what you guys do. And as everyone's most interested in is like, how do we get 400% more revenue using AI chatbots? Because that sounds great.
Yeah. We had no idea that it would have that amount of impact on their revenue. But what we started off with was actually starting the support sort of industry for chatbots. So we wanted to automate at least 80% of support for businesses. And then we actually saw the chatbot was incredible at doing sales, and even better than many people are today. Thomas, our CTO, got a great idea, and that is to actually integrate it with e-commerce websites through their API, sort of to get live data or real-time information.
Very cool.
So you integrate with Shopify, right? And WooCommerce.
Yeah, so we haven't tried any other platforms just yet, but we tried with Shopify, and we had great results doing so. So what our chatbot does is it will get information such as what is your stock and how much are you selling this item for, and then using those data in mid-conversation to try to sell you the product.
Nice. Well, for people that don't know, this chatbot is amazing because it will go and basically scrape your website, gather all the data on your website about who you are. So you don't even have to really particularly train it, or you can add additional information. Like for us, we added, because we have a subdomain that's kind of hard to get to, we added an FAQ doc that had all the most commonly asked questions, so the bot would know how to answer them exactly how we wanted them answered. But that wasn't even necessary because it's so good at pulling all the information from your website. It really is almost like plug and play.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So the fundament of the chatbot is in its web scraper, where it gets the information from your website, your documents, or anything related to your business. And then it actually changes the information, sort of. So I think Aria is the better one to explain how this works.
Yeah, sure. Thanks again for having us. So When we crawl content, it can be crawled from directly from your website or from any text-based files like PDF, JSON, CSV, etc. But we don't actually change the content itself. What we do is the platform basically breaks up any of the text that is being crawled into what we call snippets. So a snippet is a piece of text which is like training data, and it consists of a prompt and a completion. And this training data, it depends on the amount of pages in the file or on your website, the amount of text, etc. But usually, like, say you have a website with 100 pages, that would usually end up being around maybe 200 to around 1,000 snippets, depending on the amount of text on every page. And these snippets are what we use to match users' questions with training data. So as long as what a user asks, the chatbot can be found anywhere on your website or in your file or whatever we use to crawl, the chatbot is going to be able to answer that. And the chatbot is going to take that information. So usually it takes around 0.01 second to match training data with a question. And then the rest of the time, like usually 2-3 seconds maybe, is having ChatGPT basically word the reply in a well-structured way and keeping it to just the question and not mentioning anything irrelevant from the same snippet.
Very cool.
So yeah, that is how we do that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I know we're going to get to kind of see how it works, which is great because I know that's kind of a big hurdle for a lot of people is, hey, I don't have time to learn a new like app or a new tool. And, if they're not very techy, it can feel intimidating. Like, I know there's people who I've known in the past, like clients and friends who wanted to use chatbots are like, man, it's just like, it's so much time and effort. So this sounds like it is like Kim said, very much plug and play. And also, just as marketers, we know that timing is everything. So the fact that it can respond so quickly in a way that's with a relevant answer, that's huge, right? And I'm sure that's kind of where the increase is, right? Because if most of those questions can be answered with that data, and normally you just wouldn't be able to do it and wouldn't have the time. Or is the response time what's increasing the conversion so much? Or are there other factors at play here?
There are actually a lot of factors at play, but I think Tage has actually read more research specifically about this. So maybe you want to answer this one, Tage?
Sure. So about 40% of all customers actually expect a business to reply within 4 hours. And that is a lot. What if you're sleeping, time zone differences, etc. Get in the way? Our chatbot solves this problem by replying instantly.
Yeah, that's great. And is there so we obviously you said any info that's on the site. I'm assuming also that it's learning now, right? Every time, and it's getting better at kind of how it can formulate responses and things like that. And then also hopefully accuracy, right? That's another thing, is they're like, well, can a human, maybe it's faster, but can a human answer more accurately or things like that? So I know those are kind of questions that kind of come to mind.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we've had a lot of questions about AI hallucinations and what if the AI tells you something wrong? And this is where we come into the picture and try to create the highest amount of quality for the chatbot. So AI hallucinations is actually a problem that was solved a long time ago, as we don't actually train the chatbot itself. We just give it context, which it will use to formulate a reply to.
I just
So
want to
it's not
shoot
going to
in
use
quickly.
anything
Sorry.
outside that. Yeah, go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
just want to
Yeah.
shoot in quickly here for the more technical people watching. This basically means that we are using a vector semantic search instead of machine learning, which yields higher quality. And this is also one of the ways we have been able to actually eliminate AI hallucinations within our platform. Because we use vector semantic search, and we also we include a sentence in the system message, which is basically like prompt engineering rules for the chatbots, saying if you cannot find the answer to my question in the provided context, you will only reply with this exact sentence, and that is usually something like, sorry, I don't know, maybe you can reword it, give me some more keywords, or leave your email address so a human colleague can contact you.
Perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, and just real quick, just to bring everyone on the same page, when we talk about the term AI hallucinations, really what we're referring to is the idea that sometimes the AI will just come up with things that are untrue and not factual, right? Which is obviously a problem when we're dealing with customer service and dealing with an AI chatbot. So, example would be like, asking a 5-year-old for directions and they actually don't know how to get there, and they give you the wrong directions because they just wanted to give you an answer. That's kind of what it's like. And so sounds like, I know there was some technical stuff there, but the way you get around that is not actually using machine learning per se, but using this vector search that you said, which is like, hey, within this context of your site's information, it's not going to deviate from that as far as formulating proper responses. Is that kind of an accurate description there? Okay.
Yeah.
So when do we get to see this live demo of
Yeah.
how you create? I'm excited.
I think that'll answer a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you right now. Let me
that'd be
just
great.
share my screen. Right, can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Great. And feel free to interrupt me with any questions, or you could do them at the end. So this here is a cloudlet. And this is basically like your very own private database, which is what you get with a professional and up license. And we do offer to do the setup for you, but doing the setup yourself is, it can be time consuming depending on how much work there is involved, but it's actually pretty simple. And we do have extensive documentation on how to do everything. So here's the dashboard. And this is a brand new Cloudlet actually, so it doesn't really have any like actions. But you can see stuff like logins, successes and failures, and leads generated, last couple of system logs. But what I really want to show you guys today is how to create a chatbot and show you how quickly and how easily it can be done. So I just go here to manage machine learning. And here I just want to add a new model. So there's a lot of configuration here, and when creating it initially, you can just ignore most of it, just give it a name. So let's just do AI Advantage, save that. Then I'll copy your URL and I'll click import here. But we don't want to wait forever for this, so let's just do 10 pages. Just to give you an idea of how it works, and do 1 second in between pages crawled, just to make it go quicker. And now it's doing its thing.
And normally you would do the full site, and then what was the seconds in between? I know that was just for time's sake, but best practices, what would you normally do there?
Yeah. So normally we would do the entire website. It depends a little bit on what the client wants and how many pages they have and how they want to use the chatbot. But this is something we help the client figure out. And the second in between pages is actually because so I have never run into this problem before. But the reason that we give you the option is because if your website, let's say it has really bad, really old servers, it might actually misinterpret our crawler as a DOS attack and just kind of shut down temporarily. So again, I have made hundreds of demos and chatbots, and I've never run into that problem. I don't think I probably will, but if you know your website has super bad servers, it's worth just keeping that in the back of your mind, maybe increasing it to 3 or 4 seconds instead.
Yeah, and I would say probably you need to switch servers. That's that's probably
Yeah.
an issue you want to fix, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but just
I
to get
would
around
say that
you
would
know.
be the priority.
Yeah, got it. Okay, and then what? Yeah, what sort of time frame are we looking at here for that to actually populate?
So we can actually go here to training data, and here we can actually see how far along it is. So these are the snippets that I mentioned earlier. And right now you can see it has 92 snippets. So even if it hasn't finished completely, it's probably going to be pretty good at this point for a demo made in such a short amount of time, at least. So I'm not going to go through like everything, getting super into the details, but we can look at one of the snippets. Like here you have a couple of headlines this is to match questions with the correct training data, and the way we do it with including all of the headlines on the page basically increases the quality of how it's matched. And here's some text from that. The next thing I do is that I go to configure, and here's that. Can be kind of overwhelming the first time because there's a lot of options right here. But here's the configurations, and you can set up questionnaires, for example, if you want the chatbot to ask the user for their name or their email address or collecting any other kind of information before you're allowing them to have a conversation with the chatbot. That can be great for example, collecting leads or giving the users a personalized experience with the chatbot actually using their name in the conversation. Or even collecting information such as, let's say you sell insurances and you ask them questions about like their home or their car or whatever, that the chatbot can then use in the conversation to upsell them or like sell them on this and this type of insurance.
Let me just add that this information is actually not sent into OpenAI, which makes it GDPR compliant as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a concern too with customer privacy and things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, this looks like a great not only like probably a lead gen tool, right? If they're not a customer and just kind of browsing your site, have a question, but also the customization there with if they are an existing customer or something like that, with the added personalization, really great there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the user can set their own system message. So like, for instance, if there was something that was very important to us, we could add that to the system message. Is there a default message? And then this is just additional information?
Yeah, there is. So at Flavor right here, we have a couple of predefined system messages, and we've done some experimentation with these to see what works really well for like generalized cases. So if we pick the sales executive one right here, this is a really good system message and it works really well for most cases, but you can edit this. What I like to do for clients is I actually start with the sales executive flavor, and I edit it for each client. So you can see here it starts with, we are going to play a role game. You are Jane, a sales executive for the company in the context. And then I would use like switch this up with the actual company name. And maybe the client has, they have like a couple of other rules they wanted to follow, or maybe they don't want it to be like, maybe they don't want it to recommend products every single time, or maybe they have something else that they wanted to do. Then you can add stuff to this, you can remove stuff, you can even combine these different ones. Yeah, you can do basically anything with this.
Great. Yeah. And, this is very similar to kind of what we'll do with, the system message or the instructions, right, for the different AIs is come up with these kind of brand personas for their voice. So that's something we could also add into this kind of system message that's going to give it that additional context of like, hey, here's the role you're playing, and here's kind of, your tone and flavor and those types of responses. I saw some fun ones in there too, like Snoop Dogg. My kid's a big fan of Snoop Dogg's music, so it might be cool to.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg does kids music. I didn't know that, but my kid loves his stuff. So, but yeah, that'd be a fun one. Is a Snoop Dogg chatbot.
Well, I was thinking
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump in there. Yeah, we have to get some others in there to balance it out.
Yeah, the top ones are the more kind of professional ones, and then we have the more fun ones like Poet, Donald Trump, Snoop Dogg, Pirate, and Alien from Sorg.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the system message, you can do basically anything you want with this. And we do have some more configurations also. Like here we have, this is, most of this is pretty technical. Like you have the temperature, which is the creativity level. You have threshold, which is how strict our system is when matching a question with relevant trading data. You have the OpenAI model that is being used. So we usually use GPT-4 for most clients and also demos. And you can also set tokens.
And that'll be
Now,
kind
do
of
you
the
need
size of the responses, right? When we're talking tokens.
Yeah. So the max number is always going to be OpenAI's own max token count. So the last one here can't be changed. But if I change the tokens on one of the others, you can see that the number on max message tokens is also changing when I change this number.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, does the client or customer need to have their own OpenAI API key?
They don't with the basic subscription, but with your own API key, we are not going to limit the amount of requests per month because that's your business. But if you're getting a basic subscription and not getting your own API key, then we are limiting the max amount of monthly requests by I believe it's 500.
Okay.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then lastly here we got integrations. So here is where we set up the email lead generating feature. So if a user is to leave their email address in the chat, that's not actually going to be sent to OpenAI at all. It's just going to be sent directly to the email address you have configured right here with the user's conversation history. So you can see what they talked about, what they asked the chatbot about, what kind of things they're interested in, and then you can have a human continue the conversation. And of course, you can set up Twilio for like WhatsApp, Messenger, SMS, if you're in the US at least. Kind of depends on country with the SMS thing with Twilio. Yeah. So
Oh.
there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of things you can configure, but just to keep it simple today, I'm just going to give it the standard sales executive system message right here. And then what you want to do is vectorize. And so vectorizing, this is what we do when doing vector semantic search. So normally, if you were to use machine learning, you would use the train button instead. We do support that for GPT 3.5 Turbo, but we don't normally recommend using it because VSS just has a significantly higher quality. You don't need as much training data. And while it's a one-time thing, it's also much cheaper through the OpenAI API. It's like insignificant. But if you use train, it's suddenly like an actually significant bill.
Ah.
Okay. And the
Something
main
to keep in
reason for
mind.
that is because it's just processing where the response comes from differently, right? Is there like a layman's way to kind of explain the difference between those two options there?
Yeah. So when using train, you're basically creating your own machine learning model. So you're basically getting your private ChatGPT model that just kind of has the answer. It knows the answers to things. But when using vectorize, you're instead using vector semantic search, which is kind of like we mentioned, instead of the model actually having the answers itself, we are sending context along with the question. And the user is never going to see that. So it's not going to look weird to the user at any point. But we're actually giving ChatGPT the answer along with the question. So quality is much higher. You don't need as much training data to get correct and high quality replies. There's just a lower chance of it replying basically like incorrectly or AI hallucinations, etc.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Imagine you're building a kitchen, and with the train function, you're trying it all for the first time, while with the vector semantic search, you're given instructions on how to build, and they are ordered in order. So it makes it
Okay.
a lot more seamless, and basically we're giving the answer to the chatbot for them to rephrase or reword in a fitting manner.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than it trying to create it on its own, right?
Yeah.
Which that's when you
Exactly.
can run into problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there are cases where you would want to use train, like for example, if dealing with medical stuff, etc. But like right now, we're mostly talking about support, customer service, etc. So it's not really relevant.
That makes sense. What happens next?
So next, let's just see here. Everything has been vectorized. And so I can actually show you how we make a demo page for this really quickly. Let's see, you have kind of like blue colors in your website. So I'll go with the cyan one. Then I just go into Hyper ID. I'm not going to explain this too much because that would take a lot of time.
Sure.
But let's see.
I'm sure this
Advances,
is
HTML.
this is something that's in the instructions for people who are using this, and they can just go through step by step.
Yeah.
And so here I've made an HTML page, and now I'm actually going to have ChatGPT make an HTML page for me. Or I could do that. But what I'm actually going to be doing today is I'm just going to have the embed code right here. And I'm going to copy from your page source. So I just copy this, go in here. And I go right here. before/body, paste, save. And then I will go to see sales team dot AINIRO.io. And so you see the URL right here. This is not your website, but it looks like your website.
Yeah.
And here you can
Very
see
cool.
the chatbot. So this is something that can happen sometimes for the demos made this way. The CSS gets kind of funky, which you can see happen right here. But yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
That's really
Yeah.
cool
And it
though, to have
matches.
just a very quick demo. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty quick to do, and you can see what it would look like on your own website. You can do this to test out which of the designs you prefer for your website, for example. So yeah.
Nice.
And then we
Now is
can-
it the? I'm assuming this works now, right? Like we can kind of test it out.
Yeah. So let's ask, what is AI advantage? And this model has only been trained on, I think it was 10 pages. So it's not going to have like every like piece of information from your website, but it should be able to reply pretty well. So AI Advantage Agency is a full-service digital marketing firm that leverages the power of artificial intelligence to transform the way businesses grow. And yeah, so I assume this is a pretty good answer. That's you think
It's a very
this
good
sounds pretty
answer.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a great answer. Can you ask it what services we provide?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So content creation, social media management, paid media optimization, customer service automation, email marketing, web design, conversion rate optimization. And it's giving some like arguments for each of these. So yeah,
That's
and then it
amazing.
ends with these are just a few examples of the services provided by AI Advantage Agency.
Great. That's really cool.
That's awesome,
like how-
especially
yeah.
for only being trained on 10 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 10 pages, and while we did take kind of breaks to talk and explain some things, you saw how quickly I made this demo.
Oh, yeah.
This is like spending basically no time at it at all, and we can spend a lot of time on these to like further optimize them and customize them and do a lot of like intense testing to make sure it's completely perfect.
Very cool.
That's really cool. You know, there were some questions that we'd wanted to ask you guys before, you know, we get you off the show. Can you tell us like a real world example of how the chatbot would increase support, customer support, like how you can handle much more customer support than you would without a chatbot?
Absolutely. So we actually got 2 use cases for that point of view. The first one is Resolve systems. Those are a huge company with a very complex system with a lot of features, and it's pretty easy to sort of not understand where you're going to find solution for your problems. So actually we're the first line support function there, which is a workforce of 15 employees as of today. And what we're hoping to do is to help them grow their support and relieve some stress for those who work there. We also do have the first line support function for a company called Spotware. those are the creators of CTrader, and that is a platform which is used by millions of people every year. They're actually helping to move 20 quadrillion dollars annually.
Wow.
Very cool.
Wow. So I imagine they get a lot of support requests.
Yeah.
Just a few, huh? Oh,
Just
wow.
a few.
Are there
So
any
what we're
kind of-
aiming to do here is actually to automate about 80% of the support requests, which also gives the employees time to focus on how to better solve problems for more technical use cases and get more time for each client as well?
Yeah.
So
So
if
like,
you have, oh, sorry,
go ahead,
sorry,
Kim.
Colin. If you have, say you have a difficult question and the chatbot says, let me refer this to my human counterpart or something like that, how does that mechanism work? Whoops, my cat,
Yeah.
sorry.
So if you tell the chatbot that the response is wrong, it will actually generate an answer, which is, please leave your email address and name in the prompt, and I'll have one of my human colleagues come back to you. Then what it does is it will send the entire chat transcript together with your text and the chatbot's text into a designated email address.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, the lead email that you had
Yeah.
before. Okay. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Oh, that's great.
Cool.
So it can actually be a very quick turnaround.
Absolutely.
Cool.
How do you see chatbots being used in the future for business? Like right now they're helping with customer service, but how do you envision like even your service growing in the future?
So what we're hoping to do, and probably together with custom GPT, is to automate a lot of support channels and also increase sales for companies overall.
Very cool.
Well, I love that it for Shopify it's basically an app, right? It's an app you use for Shopify. And so did you go through the same process of setting it up like you would for a regular website, or is it all within the app for Shopify?
So I think Aria is the one to answer this question.
Yeah, sure. So with the Shopify chatbots, basically what we do is the process is very similar to making a regular chatbot with the process that I showed you just now. But what we do is we remove any training data related to like products. And what we do for the actual products themselves is that we actually use the Shopify API. So we make I believe it's called the admin API access. Don't quite remember the name. I have everything on my computer somewhere. But basically what this does is it's giving our platform access to basically go into the Shopify store and read all the products. And so then it reads all these products and it imports training data from these products using any like text or explanations or anything about the products. And also it will crawl a couple of images, usually like 1 to 4 images per product. And we can also set this up to be redone at any interval that you would prefer. Like it can be done once every 24 hours. It can be done once every 5 days, once per week, or anything like that. So this is really great especially for stores that where like maybe they remove and add new products often. So they're
Run
not
lots of
actually gonna
promos
have
and
to.
sales that change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So they're not gonna have to go into the platform to update the data. It's gonna do so automatically.
So,
So
for
I would think that there's, obviously when you build your product pages in Spotify, in Shopify, when you build them in Shopify, you have a certain amount of data about your product, but because you don't want to overwhelm the page or make it too cluttered or whatever, can you also supplement that information by uploading PDFs or CSV files or whatever additional product information that it can pull from also?
Yeah, so we can crawl stuff like PDF files. We can do CSV, JSON, XML, zip files. We can do basically anything text-based. So even if you want, if you have like all your training data is like, maybe it's podcasts, there are lots of apps where you can get the transcript for free, and you can just import those.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we can do basically anything as long as it's text-based.
Oh, that's
great.
amazing. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
great.
where it'd be useful to have additional product data that you just don't want cluttering your website, but you would like the chat bot to be able to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Additional context like tip
Yeah.
sheets or product, like little product sheets and stuff that people will have. Yeah.
Or even recommendations, like and testimonials.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
would be cool.
Mm.
exactly, and for those in the audience who'd like to actually try a Shopify integrated chatbot, I'll send the link in the chat here.
Oh, great. Good idea.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll put that up.
And one thing I'd actually like to do, if I can share my screen again, I'd like to show you guys a live use case.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So let's share my screen. There we go. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Great. So this is a shop named Club Demode, and they integrated our chatbot in the end of September. I don't remember the exact date. But yeah, so this is Jane, Club Demode's AI assistant, and they have the questionnaire. So it's going to ask for my name. So my name is Arya, and then how can I help you? So I want a diesel watch for men.
Hey, how'd you know that's what I wanted? I love Diesel. It's one of my favorite brands. So.
Oh, cool.
Mr. Daddy.
Yeah. So they have the perfect diesel watch for me, and it's giving some information about it. It's also letting me know that the original price is $465, but at Club Demode you can get it for only $320. So it also tells me how much I'm saving. It's also telling me that they only have 2 of these left in their inventory, so I should hurry up and grab mine while it's still available.
Yep.
It's giving me a link to buy it, a direct link, and it's giving me a couple of images right here. So yeah, they only have 2 of these left, Colin. You should hurry up.
I need it. Well, and you know what's great is it's anticipating, or it seems that way, right? It's anticipating what you would want to see. Like for me, I want to see what the watch looks like, and maybe I'm not going to click the link because that's too far in the conversion. Maybe I'm not quite warm enough to buy this watch yet. But if I see the images, now I'm a little bit more interested, and I might click, and then there's only 2 on the site. It's giving a lot of reasons why you should look at that. So now I can see why it's increasing sales so much.
Yeah,
exactly. See too.
There's
actually a lot of
research that backs what you're saying right now, which is that 4 pictures of a product sells actually 16 times more than just a block of text.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a little bit of our own research. So Club Demode was actually our first client to use the Shopify integration after Thomas did a lot of work on this integration to make it work this well. We're really proud of it. And Club Demode was our first client to use this integration. And so from the date at the end of September when they launched the chatbot on their website, their sales have actually increased by around 400%.
That's on
So
average.
Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible.
yeah,
So yeah, basically what I'm hearing is if you don't have this, you're leaving money on the table.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah,
full stop.
yeah.
Pretty much.
It's not as much like what are you gaining by using a chatbot. It's more like what are you missing out on by not using one.
Yeah, because like there's people coming to your website, they have questions, and they are maybe an answer or two away from converting and becoming a customer. And there's
Yep.
just nobody there to close except
Yeah.
if you get the chatbot, then you've got your closer 24/7, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's usually the first business to respond, which actually gets the sale. So if the
Mhm.
client has asked various businesses, it's the first one to respond that usually gets the sale.
Great. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Wow. We appreciate so much you giving us that demo and showing us how
Yeah,
it
that
works
was great.
and showing us how the Shopify works. Because Colin and I, we have several clients with Shopify stores. And so already the wheels are turning like, how can we do this?
Yeah.
How can
Yeah.
we integrate?
Yeah. And you know, a lot of times it's just not scalable, you know, and I've worked with teams who, man, they've been the chatbot basically,
Yeah.
you know, around the clock. They've been handling this and it's just a lot of the heavy lifting because there's a fear that, hey, you know, AI is going to replace, you know, people and replace teams and jobs. But really it's like in a lot of the cases, this is just filling that kind of role that frees the team up to do more important things. Like maybe it's just a follow up or a lot of other tasks where they just weren't able to do it because they were bogged down in the minutia of all of these interactions. Not to mention they were probably about 20 hours behind. So there's probably a lot of sales that were lost there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. This has just been so interesting. Thank you
Great
so
stuff.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Very
so
cool.
much for having us. It's
You're
it's really
welcome.
fun to get to talk about all of this.
Yeah, and what's the best way that people can reach out to you guys if they're interested in seeing a demo? Maybe they just want to see how this would work on their site. You know, give people a good place to reach out to you guys for that.
So the best way to reach us would be through our contact form on our website, AINIRO.io. And we'll also treat the audience of you guys for a special discount of 30% off any
Wow, that's
package
amazing.
and any
Wow.
deal. And
Wow.
also on top of that, if you do want the Shopify integration, we'll also give that for just 298 euros instead of 498. So
Oh,
all
wow.
you've got to
That's
do,
great.
Very cool. I don't know the
That's
conversion
great.
rate, but that is less money. I do know that. So
Yeah. No, that's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Thank you so much. How do they claim this discount?
They do by using our contact form and writing AI Advantage in the message form.
great. Perfect.
Okay, so you heard it, guys. Just mention
Yeah.
AI Advantage, and you can get your 30% discount. And that is really, really amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to see how this progresses, and I would love to have you guys back on if you have additional case studies and some more info that businesses can learn, and you know maybe they can they'll eventually get a chatbot as sophisticated as your guys, or at least they can learn some tips on how they can improve their already existing customer service and chatbots.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having us.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Wow, that's amazing. 400 times sales.
I know. Incredible. I mean, and you're not quite sure how is that possible. That just sounds so unrealistic or far-fetched, but then when you kind of see the data and see how it operates, it makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, you see the demo, and then it's like, okay, I can see now how that would happen because
Yep.
it just it's basically a 100% availability sales force.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game changer. So very excited to see what happens with that. Awesome. Anything else, Kim, that you wanted to share today before we wrap up?
Well, as always, I would like to encourage people to go to the AI Tools Hub, which is aitools.co or myaitools.co. And it's a basically a repository of different AI tools for marketing that you can search and find the perfect AI tool for you. There's no charge, it's free to use. Just go to myaitools.co, and also if you need any help implementing any of these AI solutions in your business, reach out.
Yeah, you can always go to aiadvantageagency.com, and you can actually get on a call with both Kim and I. That's something that we actually are offering right now. That's not going to be up forever, but
Right.
we did want to hop on, talk to AI influencers like us who can help you out, direct you to the right things for your business. We're happy to do that. So awesome show. So great to have you guys, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Oh,
Bye,
yeah.
guys.
Bye.